some of you all have had some crazy exes in the past, and some of you all have had crazy exes that are cryptids. No, probably never happened, but welcome back to Beyond the Campfire. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen the Indian, along with Will the Cowboy. And we got another cryptid, ghost, womanly creature today. What we got, Will?
Sorry.
You
Yeah.
get a sip.
Today we have got Steven's soul sucking ex.
Oh man.
I'm kidding. If any of his exes actually listen to the podcast, well, we're in trouble. Anyways,
Why they would, but that would be really funny if they did. So
well, sometimes you gotta muster up and say, you know what, I hate his guts, but his podcast is good to listen to on the way to work.
there you go.
I don't know, man.
Anyway, welcome to Beyond the Campfire. As I said earlier, I'm Stephen the Indian. This is Will the Cowboy, and we are a cowboy and Indian that talks about ghosts, cryptids, conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all the like. So if you are new, be sure to give us a follow. You can also connect with us on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and X at Beyond Campfire or at Beyond Campfire Podcast. So be sure to follow us there so that you don't miss an episode. So, Will, yeah, we're talking about a lady, if you can call her. And who is this lovely creature that we are talking about?
Well, for a moment, okay, I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to picture some things. I want you to just imagine with me again. All right, it's like Beast of Bray Road all over again. All right, you're sleeping peacefully in your bed. All right, maybe you're having some wonderful dreams, right? Peaceful dreams.
Dreams, good dreams. Okay.
When then all of a sudden a hideous creature begins to ride your soul, killing you.
Oh, wow, that was
Yeah.
and very sudden. And oh, okay.
So what got you? What was this creature? Was that
So
a woman?
ridden to death.
You're ridden to death. So what got you? Was it a man? Was it a woman? What if I told you it was the Boo Hag?
The Boo Hag.
Boo Hag.
Oh man, you gotta say it with that southern flair. Boo Hag.
The Boo Hag. Because this creature is. I'm gonna get into the history of this creature because this creature. There's a reason why we're saying it with a southern accent.
Well, hey, there's boos, there's hags, and then there's this the Boo Hag. So.
I already got the caption for this week's TikTok. Putting the boo and Boo Hag.
There you go.
So, what's interesting about the Boo Hag is, like a lot of the cryptids that we have, some of them are based off mythology. Some of them are just creatures that people said just happen to exist. The Boo Hag is a cryptid / urban legend / ghost story, kind of all wrapped up in one neat, tight little bundle. A gift from hell. So you might be wondering what a Boo Hag is, where it comes from, who thought up this. So the cool thing about the Boo Hag is that the Boo Hag is, and I'm going to get a little bit more into the culture significance of the Boo Hag and kind of where this culture comes from. But the Boo Hag is part of Gullah folklore. So the Gullah is a cultural group of Africans. They have their own language, their own culture, and they're located mostly on the coastal areas of Georgia and South Carolina, mostly being prominent on the Sea Islands. So
is it from Native American folklore, or is it when African slaves were brought over, it was kind of something more that they brought with them?
Well, like I said, so the Gullahs, they're descendants of enslaved Africans from mostly West and Central Africa, and they have preserved a distinct culture, language, traditions. They mostly speak in a Creole kind of language called Gullah, which retains strong African influences. And so they have talked about this spirit called the Boo Hag. We'll get a little bit more into her origins, but the Boo Hag is mostly associated with those in the Lowcountry of South Carolina. So while the Gullah goes mostly up and down the coastal area of Georgia, South Carolina, this Boo Hag is mostly in the lowlands of South Carolina. So probably like around Savannah, Charleston kind of area, the bayou, that sort of area.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so we're I won't say specifically where, but we are in Georgia, so we are potentially at risk of being attacked by this creature.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see, I'm trying to. Sorry.
So I'll ask this. You might get into a little bit, but what do you mean by being ridden by the Boo Hag? Because there's a what went through my mind is not probably appropriate for a family audience, but yeah,
So
explain that.
I'll get into that in just a second.
Okay, I'll
So
be.
the Boo Hag is basically like kind of like a tainted soul. It just becomes the Boo Hag. So the Boo Hag is described as being red. The reason why it's red is because it's skinless, and I'll actually get into. There's a power it has that's kind of freaky, but it is skinless, and you can see its blue veins. So imagine like 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 those diagrams we saw in school of like just the muscle. That's the Boo Hag.
Weird. Okay.
Sometimes though it will have white hair. Some say it almost looks like a dead person's hair,
Hmm.
and sometimes it can even have bat wings.
Man, this thing has all kinds of just weird stuff going on with it.
It's a weird thing. So the reason why I say it rides you is it doesn't like ride you like Steven's thinking over here, the pervert.
Eh,
What it does is she will kind of come into your room
okay.
while you're sleeping, and she will sit on your chest, and she
Mm,
will ride your soul.
okay, gotcha.
And this is kind of how she feeds. She feeds off your breath or your energy, and she kind of like sucks you dry, like most women.
That okay. The soul
Your
though.
money.
The soul. Okay.
Yep, just like most women. Most women suck your soul.
Okay. I probably should have warned y'all at the beginning, but hopefully you don't have any kids around while listening to this. So
It's
anyway,
not that bad.
yeah,
So,
I haven't said anything too crazy. Hopefully not. So, all right.
there's a lot of questions about what the Boo Hag could be. So when I mentioned the hair, so the white flowing hair, a lot of people say that kind of like grows on older corpses, the way it kind of looks. So that's why a lot of people have the theory that like the Boo Hag is a sleep paralysis demon crossed with like a vampire.
I was gonna say I do see elements of sleep paralysis demons because I do know people that experience sleep paralysis have described like a heavy pressure on their chest. And so this thought
Yeah.
of the Buhag lady coming and sitting on your chest, well, like yeah, if a woman comes and sits on your chest, you're obviously going to feel some pressure. So, so yeah, I am seeing some crossover with a sleep paralysis demon, for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of why like it will use witchcraft and magic to kind of wreak havoc on innocent people. So like a sleep paralysis demon, it will actually paralyze you to where you can't move. And then it'll basically ride your chest. Now, sometimes it can kill you. Most of the time, it won't kill you, but it'll kind of ride your chest, feeding on your life force and kind of subjecting you to have nightmares. It's like, like sleep paralysis demons, they like you have those nightmares, and it's a haunting experience. That's kind of what the Boo Hag is doing. So, most of the time, and this is where you can kind of be like, did I get ridden by a Boo Hag? So, like I said, the Boo Hag, it can get into your room no matter what. You lock your door, doesn't matter. You lock your window, doesn't matter. It will get inside your room through any crack in the window, any crack in the wall. It will get in your room and it will feed on you.
Yeah.
So,
So really, you would need to, if you wanted to avoid this Boo Hag, you would really have to fortify your room and make sure like every crack, crevice, and whatnot is like taped
well,
up.
luckily, after we're kind of done talking about it, I will actually tell you how you can get rid of a Boo Hag, how you can keep the Boo Hag away, and ward it off.
Okay.
So,
Because I got some things ready if need be, but I'm
mhm.
happy to hear about whatever will help keep that thing away. I will take it.
So here's the thing about the Boo Hag. The Boo Hag naturally it does not have skin. One of the powers it has is that it can steal skins. And so during the day, the Boo Hag will walk around in someone else's skin. At night, it doesn't want to be in the skin anymore. So it gets out of the skin, goes and finds a victim, rides them, and sucks the soul from them. Or it'll suck their breath. And it'll do that till sunrise. Once the sun starts coming up, a Boo Hag has to get back to its skin or else it'll die. So
so it kind of needs it, otherwise it's kind of cooked in some sense.
yes. And so when you kind of like when you wake, so if you have had a Boo Hag encounter, most of the time, have you ever gone to bed, Stephen, and you've gone to bed at a reasonable time and you've gotten up in the morning at a reasonable time, but you still feel exhausted and sluggish?
Yeah, that's happened at times.
Then you've been ridden by a Boo Hag.
So
Because they
right.
say that a Boo Hag might not kill you at first, but because it's stealing your basically your breath, when you wake up, a lot of times if you get lucky, you will feel extremely exhausted. And that is because that night before you were visited by a Boo Hag. And even though, you thought you were asleep, you probably got no rest because of this thing. That's why you wake up feeling exhausted.
Golly, man. You just think you're having a peaceful night, and no, these creatures just want to come and suck your soul.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. While you're sleeping, if you happen to wake up while it's still riding you and you try to escape or attack it, the Boo Hag will kill you and steal your skin.
So I would look like those things in Attack on Titan, just I wouldn't have skin anymore.
Well, you'd be dead. And the Boo Hag would steal your skin. And so what could happen is, like, I might not be me right now. I might be a Boo Hag. And you wouldn't know it.
Okay, so it wears people's skin as some kind of weird, sick, twisted armor.
Yep.
Sheesh. But I know you said it could like sneak in through the crevices and stuff. Would the skin get stuck on the way, or does the skin also pass through like
I think it might just pass through. Like, because I mean, they use voodoo and witchcraft and stuff. So there's no telling what they can do with your skin.
Man, weird.
They might just be able to put it on your skin because now they're protected from the sun. They can just walk out the door.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you might be a little terrified, thinking, okay, this thing's going to come in my house tonight, and it's going to ride me till I'm dead, or suck my soul, or if it might skin me alive, like terrifying stuff. I got good news for you though, because there are ways to ward off the Boo Hag.
Okay.
Here's a few things to kind of keep her from, first off, riding you, to kind of stop her from doing that. They say if you place a broom near the door to your room, the Boo Hag is forced to stop and count every single bristle of the broom.
Huh.
This also can work with hairbrushes or, like a colander, like a strainer, because the Boo Hag will have to count every bristle on the hairbrush or every hole in a colander.
So it would have a. Okay, say that part again.
Okay, so like a colander, a broom, and a hairbrush.
Right.
If you put those near the door when the Boo Hag comes in, it has to stop and count those. It has to count every hole in a colander, every bristle on a hairbrush, every bristle on a broom.
So that would slow it down.
Because the goal with that is to put so many of those things to where it is stuck counting till the sun comes up. And then once the sun comes up, it's dead.
Okay. So all right. So there are some practical ways that you could beat it per se.
Now, here's the interesting thing: is there actually is a parallel to European vampires and fairies. They are also stopped by leaving piles of rice, sand, or salt in their path because they don't have to count the granules till daylight. So there is some parallels to European folklore.
Okay.
Now, if you are unable to stop the Boo Hag from riding you, and she is riding you, and you're able to wake up in time, you can sprinkle salt on the Boo Hag. So another way to deter the Boo Hag is that if it happens to be riding you, the way you can stop it is actually by sprinkling salt on the Boo Hag as it sits on you. This will make it to where the Boo Hag, when it goes back to that skin, it won't be able to get into it because of the salt, thus dying in the sunlight.
I see. Okay, so it sounds like it has similarities with vampires because, like, these salt and things like that work against some of those creatures too, right?
Right.
Okay.
So now the absolute best deterrent is to paint your house haint blue. Have you ever heard of the haint blue?
No, what is that? Haint?
Haint
Haint?
blue. Haint. Haint. Haint blue.
Yeah, I've never heard.
So it's this blue color. A lot of people paint their houses. A lot of people paint their houses blue, and it's because the idea is haint means spirit, and so it's kind of like spirit blue. So when European colonists came to the New World, they tried many different kind of crops to see what they could grow that would represent the best economic bang for their buck, and that's where indigo became a crop so labor intensive to produce that it was considered blue gold. Since the dye is so labor intensive, the farmers needed experienced workers. Various African cultures worked with this crop for almost half a millennia at that point. So the need for indigo cultivators spurned on the kidnapping and enslavement of hundreds of thousands of people from Africa. So because we had indigo, we created haint blue. Haint blue is a type of paint that basically drives away the spirits and makes them not want to come around.
Mm-hmm. Freaky.
The way that haint blue stops evil spirits is, let me see. So it says they used the dregs of the dying vats and mixed the blue with lime and other chemicals to make a robin's egg blue. So you've heard of probably robin egg blue, like maybe.
Yeah.
Also called haint blue. So painting the haint blue on windowsills, shutters, doorways, and even the verandas ceilings kept the spirits and Boo Hags away. The color would cause confusion as a ghost would think they had stumbled into a body of water, which is something spirits cannot cross in folklore, or stepped out into the open sky. Here it would be swept away by the wind or killed by the sun. It was a cheap and relatively easy way to keep spirits away. So that's the idea behind haint blue. You can paint your windowsills, your doors, your ceilings, paint entryways in your home haint blue, and the spirits will be confused and they'll stay away.
Okay. So is it the color of the paint or the properties of the paint that keep it away?
It's the color, because the color makes them think of the sky or water, to where the spirits then they can't cross water, and they're afraid of the sky because if they go up into the open sky, they could get caught by the wind and then stuck, and then end up being destroyed by sunlight.
Right.
So that's one way to also keep them out. Another way is, have you ever seen those trees in the South where they've got bottles in them?
I have.
That's another way to deter evil spirits and mostly the Boo Hag. Because the idea is that the spirit can slip into the bottle, but then they can't escape the tiny openings because of the color. So you would basically you would paint these bottles, like you'd paint the bottles haint blue, hang them up in a tree. Spirits would get stuck in the bottle, and because of the opening and the color, they couldn't escape. And then that means you called a ghost in there, and then they would eventually die at sunrise.
So there's a lot of tools, it seems, that are at the disposal of us that we could use to fight off this wicked of the South or whatever.
Yeah. So that's any questions on the Boo Hag before we go into our ChatGPT story?
I think I get it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just a very interesting creature all around. So
yeah. So it's a creature that wears other people's skins during the day, will come into your room, ride your chest, and basically steal your breath to live. And if you try to escape or fight back, it will skin you and use your skin. Ways to keep it warded off: paint your entryways to your home blue, haint blue or robin's egg blue. Hang some painted bottles and trees. or yeah. Oh, I do have. Okay, so when I was looking this up, I was trying to find if there's anybody who had encountered the Boo Hag. I could not find a lot of experiences. So I'm actually going to tell my story about the Boo Hag.
Oh,
But
okay,
wait, before we get to ChatGPT.
sure. Yeah, let's hear it.
So, as many of you know, um, I am the married one of the group. Steven, not so lucky. Ladies, his number is not going to give it out. Just kidding. Ha ha ha. Anyways, so when I got married, my wife and I, we wanted to take our honeymoon. Originally, we were going to go to Boston. We still went to Boston, but we went for our 1 year anniversary. Yeah, I've almost been married 2 years, guys. So when we got married, we took a little mini moon to Savannah, Georgia. And so we did a ghost tour. And let me tell you, our ghost tour guide, he was something else. He told us he was a hoodoo priest, that he did hoodoo, because apparently there's voodoo and there's hoodoo. Voodoo is bad, hoodoo, not so much. So the tour guide was telling us about the Boo Hag, told us everything I told you, right? And, you know, he was like, again, you don't know who could be a Boo Hag, right? Steven could go to the bar and take a lady home. He's probably not going to do that, but he could take a lady home and she could turn out to be the Boo Hag. And she got him, right? So because I mentioned the thing about the salt, remember I told you if you put salt, it'll keep the Boo Hag away.
Yeah.
Another method that a lot of people have said is that you could also put salt around your bed, because since it's got bare skin, it steps on the salt, it's going to hurt like crazy and it's not going to get on you. Another method I forgot to mention that I read about is putting a loaded gun above your bed, because the gunpowder, it hates the smell of the sulfur.
Sheesh.
So, anyways, so this guy, he's telling us this story. He gives us these little baggies of salt. We thought this guy just gave us crystal meth. And we're like, okay. We get back to the hotel room and we're like, okay, it's actually salt. So, yeah, I haven't encountered a Boo Hag. I don't want to, but if anything like our ChatGPT story is true, it's not going to want me anyways. But it was pretty funny. I think we still got the salt. I don't know where we put it, but yeah, we still got the salt somewhere. Just keeping it, just in case.
Hey, you never know. You might need to keep those boot hags away. I am.
So,
Before you get into the ChatGPT story, I have the AI image that I'm going to post later.
uh-huh.
Well, I guess by the time this episode releases, the AI image will already be out. But I'll go ahead and show you. I think it'll be a good intro for y'all to see before we get into the story. So we got this right here. Can you see that, Will?
Oh yeah, I like it. That's awesome.
So yeah, with that image seared into y'all's minds, Will, take it away.
Alrighty. Episode 5. Don't let her in. The Boo Hag. She ain't got no skin, but she sure knows how to wear a smile. Will. It started with a phone call from a preacher in Yemassee, South Carolina. Voice trembling like a man who'd seen hell blink. Brother Will, they say she's back. I found one of them in my congregation, eyes wide open, frozen in the bed. No marks, no blood, but he looked like he'd been ridden all night. I knew what he meant. The Boo Hag, a skinless spirit witch, slips into your house through cracks and creaks, sits on your chest, rides your soul like a horse until you can't scream no more. Old Gullah folks used to say, don't let her in. Lock the door. Paint your windows red and don't fall asleep mad. We were on the road that same night. The town was small, ghost quiet. Kudzu covered houses. One gas station with a hand painted Jesus sign. The kind of place that forgets fast but remembers deep. We met with the preacher, Reverend Carlton Pierce. Big man, Bible heavy as a brick. Said 4 people had died in their sleep in the last 6 weeks. All healthy, all alone, and all terrified in death. She always comes after midnight, he said. Smells like smoke and sugar. Leaves him gasping. Sahil leaned forward. Has anyone seen her? The Reverend hesitated. We buried a woman 2 days ago. Shyla Cray. Burned alive in a house fire, but the body wasn't whole. What do you mean? I asked. She had no skin. We stayed in the house of the most recent victim, an old fisherman named Carter Bell, single, kept his windows open to hear the crickets, they said. I checked the seals. No locks. Sahil found something beneath the bed. A piece of parchment scrawled in Gullah script. Don't let her take your skin, or she takes what's inside too. We set up gear before midnight. Salt on the windows, iron nails at every door frame, a circle of ash around the bed. Sahil muttered a prayer in Hebrew and clipped a crucifix to his coat. You think this will stop her? He asked. No, I said, but maybe it'll slow her down. We waited. Midnight came. Then 1 a.m. Silence. Then the smell. Smoke. And roses. The candles sputtered. The air went cold. And then we saw her. She stepped through the wall. Skinless. Red and raw. Muscles glistening like she'd been flayed alive. But her face was beautiful. Not because of the skin she wore. There was none. But because her smile was charming. Enchanting. Like something that made you forget who you were. Sahil froze. She looked at him and spoke. You don't got to be afraid, baby. I ain't come for him. She pointed at me. I come for you. You got a sweet soul, a gentle heart. I could wear that like silk. Sahil took a step forward. Her eyes glowed, and then I shot her. Rock salt round, straight to the gut. She screamed, high-pitched, inhuman, flew backwards into the wall, left a splash of blood that hissed. She vanished. Sahil shook his head like he just woke from a dream. What the hell was that? She almost had you, I growled. He looked guilty. She was beautiful. Like she knew what I wanted to hear. She ain't your type. She's a parasite. We tracked her to Shyla Cray's old house. Burned out wreck. But down in the root cellar, we found her den. Skins. Tanned. Hung like meat. Male, female, children. And a fresh one. Half stitched. Pale. Sahil gagged. Then the door slammed. She was back. She dropped from the ceiling, claws out, screaming. I swung the iron chain and caught her across the ribs. She vanished in the smoke. Reappeared behind Sahil, whispered in his ear. He froze again. Fight it, I shouted. She's in your mind. He turned, eyes black. And then he pulled out his crucifix, pressed it to her face. Her skinless body steamed. She screeched and let back. That's when I emptied the clip. Rock salt, iron core, last shot hit her heart. She burst into flames. No scream, just silent. Ash fell like snow. We salted the cellar, burned every skin, said prayers in English, Hebrew, and Latin just to be sure. Town's been quiet since. Sahil's quiet too. Real quiet. She said she knew things about him he'd never told anyone. Things he's still wrestling with. Beyond the Campfire, Episode 5. Don't Let Her In, the Boo Hag. Some monsters wear teeth and claws. Others wear charm. And the Boo Hag, she wears you. But tonight she picked the wrong boys. She tried to ride us. We rode her straight to hell. There it is.
Spooky, spooky.
So yeah, that's the Boo Hag. Any thoughts, comments, questions?
Alrighty. That's the Boo Hag. I liked the element of she knew that she would need to trick me.
Yeah, that's the thing about. I mean, obviously, we got Gullah folklore with the Boo Hag and everything with that. But I mean, that's the interesting thing about it. Like I said, is she's an interesting creature, man. I mean, she is something else. Very interesting. And yeah, I think
Else
that's
indeed. Well, campers, I gotta go pick up my brother, but stay safe out there, and
yeah. Don't pick up any strange women out there,
maybe
Steve.
spray a little salt by your beds tonight.
And yeah, don't pick up any strange women, Stephen. And as for you campers, don't let the Boo Hag in.